of rational romantics. We have so much to talk about. We literally decided today that we had to punt our previous plans for this episode because there is just too much Bridgerton to discuss. And we want to deep dive. We know you guys love when we dig into every tiny little detail, and we love it too. So we're going to tease apart every bit of news from the Bridgerverse. We're going to hit some pop culture updates that are super exciting. And then the bulk of the episode is going to be devoted to our new Bridgerton content because this week was incredible.
God, it was incredible. It's like before hopping on, I was like, when did this news drop? Like all this news. It's like, what was this week? And honestly, I'm just gonna like preface and say, like, this crazy stuff that we're about to talk about dropped on Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving. So so I'm there. It's like 7:30 a.m. Eastern time on Canadian Thanksgiving Monday, and I'm like, is this really the time? Is this the time? I mean, I'm thankful, bless, but like, oh my gosh, I was like, I cannot compute. So, like, let's dive into it. Like, some of these like little updates before we dive into Bridgerton also came on that day. Like the Taylor Swift documentary, docu-series, like that came when I was already oversaturated with information, and I was like, sure, let's do it. Because like Disney Plus dropping that on Monday was not on my bingo.
No, that was absolutely wild. And it's funny because I was like, I've been feeling it. I feel like we've been like, it's been in the zeitgeist that she's going to do a documentary for the Eras Tour because you gotta. I mean, she just, like, it's Taylor. Of course she's going to do that. But so soon after the album drop, and then of course she's on the same schedule as Bridgerton because albums dropped at the same time and then this and whatever, but I'm losing it. I'm also losing it about this documentary because the new version of the Eras Tour is my show. It's Vancouver and I'm dying. I'm just so excited that I can't even believe that I'll get to like relive the show I actually went to for the rest of my life. It's the one that's immortalized. I mean, one of the three that's immortalized. And it's like, but I remember thinking that when I was like, oh, she's wearing the same outfits 3 nights in a row. I'm like, this is a thing. Like,
That is so cool. That is so cool. And yeah, you've been talking about that like since your show, since the
yeah.
Eras Tour that you went to. And like, yeah, it's been a long time coming. You know, we really have been waiting for this moment. But yeah, I love that. That's such a cool feeling to know that you can like relive something that you were literally at. And yeah, like I'm so excited to like see the Tortured Poets department section of the Eras Tour because for pretty much the entirety of like between the Tortured Poets department coming out and my Eras Tour in Toronto, I refused to watch any of the Tortured Poets segments in the live streams or anything. I wanted to experience it like completely fresh. So like I have a special place in my heart for like that because like I experienced it like on the spot. So to like take it in like a different format will be really cool. So I'm really excited to see. I'm like interested to see the format too, that it's a six episode type of thing, but like the more the better. Like I love it. Just before her birthday too, no surprise. Ugh, it's gonna be a good it's gonna be a good end of the year.
It really, really is. And I love the energy of the doc. Like, I think that we're gonna see, I mean, obviously we had like Miss Americana and like that, but I think we're gonna see a Taylor who is just so open about who she is and what she's going through in this documentary at a level that we've never seen before. And I just can't wait. It's gonna be so amazing. And I think it's just such a perfect way to, well, that's what she talks about, is it's the behind the curtain of the end of this 12 eras. It's the end of the eras era. And I think she's got, I mean, girl's already hinting at TS13. Like, she was so cute with the little A13 at 13 seconds into the little clip, and she knows what she's doing. So there's nothing stopping her, but it'll be just a great capstone for the last 20 years, which is insane.
Yeah, that's actually crazy when you put it that way. 20 years, that's insane. But yeah, no, it's perfect. It's perfect timing and it's all part of her master plan. She's a master, like she knows what she's doing. She's a mastermind, so we cannot wait. And honestly, like it was just the cherry on top of that day of news. But then we also got some more exciting news in other little realms of our little love interests. So what else did we get, Cass?
Well, a big one that like I mentioned a little bit last week, but we haven't gotten to talk about yet is the Buccaneers is getting a season 3. And amazing, so exciting. I'm a little shocked. I didn't think we were going to get a season 3. So, did you think we were going to get one?
I mean, I kind of assumed that we would. I honestly didn't think much of it. I just kind of assumed because the story wasn't over and it feels like a unique in like the Apple TV world. Like it felt like something that made sense to continue. But in terms of like the story itself and like, how we felt towards like its arc, like I didn't know that there was definitely like I don't know that there was such a cliffhanger of like, oh my God, I need more. Like I'm drooling for more just because we were just kind of like, what is happening? What is happening? But yeah, I'm not surprised and I'm curious.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely excited. And it was so funny because season 2 got announced like a few days after season 1. And so when we were coming up on like a month and a half, whatever, I was like, man, maybe they're not gonna do it. But I'm really excited for Kit. I'm actually really wondering and maybe I'm reading way too much into what people are sharing on their socials or not sharing on their socials, but I'm honestly wondering if we're going to have a lot less of Nan in this season. Like, I'm wondering if they're moving Lizzie into kind of the main role because Christine hasn't been sharing a lot about it. And that might just be because she's busy. I have no idea. But just thinking about it from a story structure, she's running away at the end. So maybe we don't see her for a few episodes. And, maybe it's more Lizzie focused. I don't know. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, maybe. You never know. It's hard to predict now based on how season
It's
two
really
went. Like, I have no idea where they're going with this. So only time will tell.
no.
But yeah, I'm glad that we're going to continue the story. And I'm sure it's going to be another big adventure waiting for us.
For sure. Um, Well, and then we have one other very fun thing before we dive into Bridgerton. So a movie that we have already discussed on this podcast had some super exciting news. So we've been greenlit for the Red, White, and Royal Blue sequel, but it got a title. It is Red, White, and Royal Wedding.
For royal wedding. Oh my God, like insert that into my veins. I love royal weddings. Like, so that title change, I was like, chef's kiss. Let's run with that. And I mean, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to see that it's in production and that it's like the ball is rolling for it. And yeah, I love a royal.
It's going to be so perfect. And more Alex and Henry is always perfection. And especially given that the writers of this movie include a human who's a friend of the pod. So Matthew Lopez, who directed the first one, he's writing it. Casey McQuiston, obviously, who wrote the novel, is writing it. And then Gemma Burgess, as in the creator and showrunner of My Lady Freaking Jane, is writing this script. So excited.
I am utterly obsessed. Utterly obsessed. And just for context, I didn't know this until I looked at Cass's notes before jumping onto the pod. So like this is a brand new information to me and I'm so in love with it. Like I just it's just perfection. Oh gosh, like I'm so excited that Gemma is part of this project. And like I recently just got in like I just watched this movie like what was it like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like all of these little it's like wrapped in a little bow. I'm so excited and I know she's going to bring such a beautiful like love sparkly dust to it. Oh, she's just such a lovely human being, and like she writes beautifully, so I can only imagine the amazing scripts that she's working on. So
Yeah. Well, and that's what I reached out to her because she's so lovely and corresponds with us and everything, which is so nice. But I reached out and that was what I said because I was just hit with this overwhelming feeling of relief because I hold that like that book to me is sacred, and the movie I watch the movie every year on New Year's. Like it's how I start my year. Like it's I love this story and I love these characters. Like Alex Claremont Diaz is some of the most me I've ever felt. Like I love these characters. And when I messaged Gemma, I was just like, I can't even tell you how like wonderful it is to know that these characters that mean the world to me are going to be taken care of by somebody who I trust. Like I trust Gemma so deeply. I mean, she wrote truly one of the most perfect seasons of television I have ever watched. The humor is sublime, the love story is incredible, and I trust her so thoroughly with these characters, and I just can't wait to see what she helps with and all the things in her and Casey and Matthew. It's going to be so perfect. So, yeah, I'm just
oh
in
my
awe.
gosh. Big fans. You're big fans of Gemma.
We are.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so fun to like see all the teasers and stuff, and hopefully we can have her back on to talk about it. And yeah, they're safe in her hands.
Okay, girl, do you think it's time? Should we talk some Bridgerton?
Yes, speaking of best news, whew, let's talk about Bridgerton. And like let's start like from the top. From the top. Let's go back to Monday, shall we? Let's go
Okay,
back to
let's do it.
Monday. What happened Monday?
Oh, nothing. Just an official release of the poster with official dates and like 8,000 other things, including a video and new photographs and whatever. It's fine. So do you want to start poster?
Yeah, let's start poster.
Okay.
Holy hell. Yeah, let's start poster. Complete surprise. I'd never seen that ever before. That was brand new information to me. I'd never seen that before. So obviously, that poster was leaked. We talked about it before. And we saw the dates, but it's a whole different feeling when it's actually released properly by the proper channels at the right time. So yeah, we got our Benedict and Sophie poster for season 4 that's coming out in 2 parts. First part is January 29th and second part is February 26th. And it also just happens to be the tie-in cover for the book.
Yeah.
And it's just the most perfect picture ever. And, you know, we broke it down a little bit when it was leaked, but now it's official. Now it's in the world. It's beautiful. And it's so benefit.
It really is. And I gotta say, I love it. It might be my favorite of the book covers. Like, it's so beautiful. I am surprised, though, that the book tie in and the main poster are the same. That's never happened before. They've always done a different photo. And I don't know. I mean, maybe just because it's literally so perfect, they were just like, there's no other choice. But it did surprise me a little bit that those were the same. I mean, I saw some people be, when it leaked, they were like, oh, I wonder if this will be the book tie in. I was like, it can't be. No way. They always do a different one. And it turns out it is. And, I mean, it's stunning, but it did surprise me.
Yeah, it did surprise me too. My instinct or like my first thought was like it's just because everything's happening so fast that it's just kind of easy. Um, but also yeah, that it's perfect. So sure, sure. And also the other thing, I know that there was a lot of controversy with the last tie-in cover and the last poster of Bridgerton season 3 where it was heavily edited and Nicola Coughlan had posted the original photograph not edited in like maybe a silent protest, I don't know, but it's just there was kind of like that awkwardness of like, oh, that is not what the original looks like. So maybe they were just like, this one is like it's truly there it doesn't seem to be heavily edited. Like it just seems to be like beautifully It just seems to have like a beautiful like coloring to it, and it looks natural, and maybe they're just like, "Hey, this is fine. This is fine. Let's just put it on the cover." You know?
Yeah, well, and that's funny because I guess maybe they just have a history, a little bit of that with that the tie-in covers have been a little controversial because season two was a little controversial because that's the only Kate and Anthony poster that was just the two of them. Like the main poster was them with Edwina, and then they saved the just the two of them for the book cover. And that's interesting. And now I'm trying to remember. And now I feel like maybe the Simon and Daphne one is just the main poster. So maybe after all of this, they were like, okay, we went two that were controversial. We'll just go back and we'll just do main poster. Two of them looking at each other. It's very Simon and Daphne. Like it looks the most like that of any of the covers. And so maybe they're just like, we're going back to the beginning. Like,
I mean, it makes sense. I
yeah.
just stick to the basics, guys. But it's exciting to have both those things out of the way, and like they're here. We can like just revel in it, and it's super exciting. But I feel like what's crazier is that along with this poster, there's a promo video, there's moving pictures. Like, I was like, what do you mean? Where are you going? This is Benedict and Sophie moving. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like sat for that. I was like, okay, what's this ride that I'm on right now? Like that promo video was absolutely wild. And like I'm just gonna start off this discussion with one word, and it's staircase.
The staircase. Ollie was so right. It's the only word we're gonna say for the next like 6 months.
Yeah, it starts now. It starts right now.
It does.
There's a fucking staircase. Like, okay. Okay, yeah, let's start with staircase. Okay? Just for those who might not be caught up here. Back in what, July? When we
Yeah.
spoke to Ollie Higginson, who plays Footman John in seasons 1 through 4, he says that one of the emojis that we could associate to season 4, which doesn't actually exist, but like we're gonna like will it into existence, is a staircase. He's like, all you guys will be saying for months is the word staircase. And lo and behold, we get this promo, and what's happening? So we have Benedict walking downstairs, and we have Sophie walking upstairs. And it is so cinematic, and like now it's like a full circle moment because now all we will be talking about is staircase and like what the heck.
Absolutely just so stunning and insane. And I mean obviously this is giving mirror promo vibes. And I'm still on the thing of that when Jess Brunell talked about the staircase, she mentioned like some sexiness. And so I'm feeling like this is just like the mirror, where, I mean, obviously, this isn't the real staircase scene, which we should, maybe address because I know that that was confusing for lots of people, where it was like, why is this on the Featherington stairs? Like, why are they at the Featherington house?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those promos that they shoot. And they did those back in season one and season two as well, where, they just have like, oh, it's at a different location and they do something that is all for the vibes rather than an actual scene. But this is gonna be something real exciting and real intense, and I cannot wait to see the real staircase scene.
I feel like the real staircase scene is probably a little bit of a tight quarters than the Featherington staircase. But yeah, I that's a big thing that people I honestly think it's just like a logistical thing because the Featherington house, if I'm not mistaken, is a set, right? So to film these kinds of promos makes sense in like a set. And I remember people like with season 3 when they did all the individual promos for each character, it was in like the foyer, I guess, of the Featherington house, and people are like, why is it there? And it's like, I think it's just the set, guys. Like it's
Yeah.
just a promo, exactly like you said, like the mirror promo that like blew our minds with Colin and Penelope. Um, so yeah, but there's a lot of like Easter eggs in this scene. Obviously, we've got the classic grazing hand moment between Benedict and Sophie, which It doesn't take much, guys. It really does not take much for us. That just sent us. But also another big thing is definitely the glove dropping. So I feel like we need to talk about that.
The glove uh, dropping had me swooning so hard. The like her hand trailing and the glove falling, and it's so sensual. And I'm kind of skipping ahead in the notes here, but Shonda talked about season 4, and she talked about how season 4 has this like unique sense of awareness, and that's what is kind of sexy about it. And I love this idea, and it feels very much like the why I love a forbidden romance and why I love that and whatever, is that you can't show anybody else, but you're constantly aware of the other person. And you like their little spidey senses are tingling whenever the other person's in the room. And it's that sense of like slow sensuality that this whole promo just gave that vibe to. So I'm obsessed. And the glove obviously plays such a significant role from the book. So props to the team for this promo.
My gosh, yeah. Like you can just feel the tension and like the sexual tension between them. They're just going up and down stairs. And like the symbolism obviously too of like Sophie rising from, the lower class staircase, below the stairs kind of environment that she's grown up in, that she works in, and then Benedict coming down. So there's like that the class divide is such a huge theme in this book, in this season. So like such a subtle nod to it in this promo is just, yeah, it makes me really excited to see, because we haven't seen this yet, and that's what makes this season so special and this story so special, is that it's new in the Bridgerverse. So yeah, it's very exciting. And like staircase.
It's gonna be on a repeat.
Always.
Um, well, and it's funny because I was actually just re-listening to our first couple of episodes because I wanted to go back and like, what did we say about the Valentine's Day season of Love event and kind of look back on that. And we were discussing how they talked about one of the big like romantic tension pieces for Benedict and Sophie is that Benedict is like really future focused and Sophie is really like in the present, and that's and then Luke Thompson said something about it where he was like, true love lies somewhere in the middle about these things, and that this is like this guiding force. And so I'm thinking about like this social mobility and this change as they walk down the stairs and up the stairs. It just feels extremely symbolic to the themes of the season that we're just starting to glimpse. And I think that after we watch the season and we go back to look at this promo, it's going to be even clearer of how meaningful this motion is and this staging. So I'm just thrilled. I can't wait.
I know. Oh, it's so exciting. And on top of that, in this clip, we also get a quick look at of the true masquerade ball where they're face to face and about to or in the midst of interacting, which is so exciting. Like the masquerade ball, like we've already gotten like a pretty good amount of like looks from it, but I feel like this is the first time that we see like them head to head. We've seen his gaze, her gaze. That this is like the first time we see them together, and it's just, they're just planting. They're feeding us a little crumbs in such a strategic way, and I'm obsessed with it. The marketing is just like, on point.
It is. It's so good. And I love because we have the shot of them really interacting for the first time. And she has like Yaren's face is so expressive, even with the mask. It's crazy. But I also feel like she has like a little emoji face where like her little expressions are so perfect. And it looks like the little face that's like sparkled, but like the little sparkles around it, but like kind of surprised. That's what she looked like, where she's like, what is this? And Benedict is just like grinning, and it's so cute because I feel like there's so much character and so much chemistry communicated in this tiny little clip that I'm beyond. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what they do with these characters.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And like, it's so soon. It's so so soon. And, we'll get into like all the little like crumbs that we're getting that just make it so exciting and that proves that it's coming so soon. But before that, another piece that came into not only the poster, not only the clip, we also got stills too, and an amazing Shondaland article that talks about, what's to come. And yeah, these stills are beautiful as expected.
They really are just totally stunning. And I love how much Bridgerton is very aware of itself and what it does well, and it doesn't try to be anything other than what it is. And I love that so much about it, where they're like, oh, right, they went feral for hands in season one. We're gonna do that. We're gonna ring that bell until the end of time. And guess what? It works every fucking time. I don't care. I love it. And the picture of them with her gloved hand and his hand, it's so pretty. And I just love it. And I just want them to continue with that always, because it works great and it's gorgeous and so evocative, and I love it.
Mm-hmm. It's classic Bridgerton. Gotta lean into it. But now moving on to, oh my gosh, this is so soon. Can we talk about how press is so clearly underway? Like
Yes.
we are so there. Like they're doing press and we need to break that down.
Oh, it's crazy. So let me run through a list of all of the people that we have fully officially confirmed with this. So
Please
we
do.
have actually seen the press outfits from Yaren, Golda, well, let me say Yaren, who plays Sophie, Golda, who plays the Queen, Ruth, who is Violet, Ollie Higginson, which I believe this is his first time doing press, so Footman John coming in hot, Anna, who plays Francesca, Victor, who plays John, his name is escaping me for a second, and Masali, who plays Michaela. Also, Claudia Jesse's hairdresser posted from there. We haven't seen Claudia yet, but also her. So, what the fuck? And also, Simone Ashley is on a plane, and she's done filming The Devil Wears Prada too, so I don't know if she's headed to London to do promo. I don't know. But they're all coming. They're all converging. It's crazy.
But also, can we add Nicola Coughlan?
Nicola, why did I
Yeah.
skip that? What the
She
hell?
she was dressed
Yes.
today in like a tribute to Diane Keaton in like this super sick like blazer tie look. Like she looks stunning, and like I can only assume she's part of that whole thing. She's doing Bridgerton press, and Luke Newton had said so that he was going to see her very very soon for Bridgerton season 4 press. So it feels like a junket. It's a junket if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. It really for sure is. And I think they're going to do, it looks like, well, I'll throw this in there. So Masali's hairdresser posted photos from the actual promo. Like, has a picture of Masali holding the Shondaland sign. So God bless her hairstylist. I can't even tell you, because the way I lost my mind seeing those photos. I mean, obviously I'm a Frankayla girly, like we love them on this show, but actually seeing and knowing like the three of them, so it's Masali and Victor and Hannah all together in a little triangle doing press together, I'm gonna
Triangle.
die.
It's like if you know, you know, you know, you're just there and you're like, oh, guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh, I can't even think about like the fate of John right now, but like, I love to see them together because their story is huge and we have such a feeling it's going to be huge in season 4. So that little, that little shot means everything.
It's absolutely amazing. And I am so obsessed with Masali's look. Every time that she does a red carpet or a photo shoot or whatever, I am like, that's why. That's why that you cast her as Michaela. She just has this magnetism about her beauty, because like of course she's beautiful, but like just like Michael, like lots of men are beautiful, lots of women are beautiful, like there's got to be something, there's just like an X factor that Masali just has, that I'm like, I will fall at your feet, girl, like okay, like, and you got to have that to play the Mary Rake. So Oh, so
Oh,
soothing.
yeah. I second everything you just said. And oh my gosh, we're in for such a ride with those
Oh my
three.
God.
Ooh, it's so exciting. But then also we got some information which I'm freaking out about. Is about our girl Eloise. Like, we're gonna talk about that because oh my god.
We really do, because it was a huge bombshell. So they just oh so casually share in this Shondaland article that Eloise is going to be reluctantly like running around to parties and balls with her brother Benedict, trying to help him find the lady in silver. Deb, how perfect do you think this is?
I truly think this is so perfect. And I feel like it's perfect for to like kind of get Eloise into this like future that like is all about like falling in love. Like she's going to see her brother literally change, not change everything about him, but like put everything that he knows aside because of this one person he cannot get out of his head. And she and Benedict are so alike in terms of how they view the world and everything. And I think that this is so important for Eloise to see like, oh, he can still be himself and still have like these huge views and huge opinions and like the world is his oyster kind of thing, but it's okay to be hyper focused on like somebody you're absolutely in love with. You know, I feel like that's huge for Eloise, and I I mean, she's been at it with Lady Whistledown, trying to find Lady Whistledown. She knows what she's doing. Benedict's not crazy. He knows he's enlisted the right person. So I'm obsessed with it. It's gonna be so good. I love the reluctant part though. So like, how's this gonna happen?
No, I think it's so perfect. And it's one of those things where, because like I did my own version of season four, because like I love doing that and I love, speculating of like, here's what I would like to see. And this is one of those things where when I read this, I basically like, smacked myself on the forehead and was like, why the fuck didn't I think of that? Like, literally, of course, like, those are my favorite moments of any kind of writing, but especially like in Bridgerton, where it feels so inevitable and yet completely out of the blue. Where it's like, wouldn't necessarily have called that, like I didn't, I guess. I'm sure some people did because that's like so clear. But now that I see it, I'm like, right, that's the only direction it could have gone. Like that's so obviously correct for these characters and it's going to be so fun. I also really love it because it fits, I think, really perfectly with since the beginning of season 3, I've had a theory because Eloise read Emma and nothing in Bridgerton's an accident, that Eloise is going to become a matchmaker. And that's how she and Philip are going to connect, because that makes sense to me that she would be matchmaking and he would send her a letter and be like, hey, I need a wife to care for these kids. And she'll be like, come to London and I'll find you a wife. And they fall in love. And whether that is season 5 or season 6 doesn't really matter because I think that you can create that plot line and she could have a matchmaking subplot for a whole season like in season 5 if they need her to, or she could matchmake for her brother in season 4 and then be like, okay, I'm gonna do this again in season 5. So it just feels it to me. I just feel like it's gotta be.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I love that. I really, really love that. And you're right, I could see that like carrying into season 5, or it could just like easily go from 4 to 5 and be like, this is her time. But it just also feels like, I feel like in season 3, Benedict, well, I mean, from the beginning, Benedict has always been so unserious. Like, he's always been a comic relief, a comedic relief. And I feel like maybe like Eloise has been through it, you know, like obsessively looking for Lady Whistledown, then finding out her best friend's Whistledown, then going season 3. It's just everything is so dark and hard for her. So, like, I kind of love the idea of her having this lighthearted, like, season before her season. You know, she can be the like comedic relief that Benedict was in the other seasons. She's just kind of like, ah, whatever. I'm unmarried. I don't need to be married. So let's have some fun. And then, yeah, it just hits her right in the face. And however that's going to happen, we'll see. But I think, yeah, this plot is perfect.
It really is. Well, and I think it really speaks to a vulnerability in Benedict because he's almost pathologically independent, where he never go like he's always showing up alone to the parties. You know, he'll see Eloise or he'll see his family, and he's not going to avoid them, but he's not going with his family places. He's running around on his own. He doesn't really have a bestie or a sidekick or anything. He just is, hanging out and hooking up and doing his thing, which he's enjoying. But then suddenly, like, I guess I wouldn't anticipate Benedict as a guy who always needs a companion. So the fact that he's taking Eloise with him and is like, you have to help me find her, I think it shows the gravity of how seriously he takes finding her and how vulnerable he is with this idea that he has to have somebody to bounce it off of. Because if he's feeling completely comfortable in this, he probably doesn't need a partner in crime. You need that because you need support. And so I love that, as I think it just shows so much of how seriously he takes this when he's generally not taken life particularly seriously before.
Yeah, you're so right. But and as you're saying that, like, I feel like I'm thrown for a loop, to be honest, because I thought, and we thought, that Lady Whistledown, Penelope, the Queen, would have some kind of hand at all of this coming together, and maybe it does in the like back half of the season. Maybe Eloise is more like the first, and I don't know. Like, it's just making me like question how Penelope the Queen and that whole like society portion of it is going to play in if Eloise is taking the first part of it, if that makes sense. Like, it's just making me
Yeah.
wonder now.
Yeah. Well, and it does sound like Penelope is having some bumps with her newfound fame. And so I wonder if that's going to be more of that plot, um, rather than integrated with the main plot, which interestingly, I do think might be better because I think that season one had a really good balance of their subplots, not because there were like fewer or anything, but because the subplots were more distinct from the main plot. There was like the main plot, and then everybody had things that were completely separate. Like, it didn't have anything to do with Simon and Daphne. And I think that felt good just as a balance. And so I'm wondering if they're going to do that same thing with Penelope, where instead of involving her and the Queen with Benedict and Sophie, they're kind of doing their own little shenanigans. And you have the Featheringtons and, oh, which,
Yeah,
yeah, what the fuck? Didn't even put that in the notes. Because the Featherington sisters are confirmed back. So,
back. Those little rascals made us think that they weren't coming back, but they're coming back. They can't get away. That's huge. That's a
mm-hmm.
huge one. And it was the agency, right, that had kind of announced that they were coming back and that they were part of this project again.
Yeah. Yeah, so a few months ago, we got basically confirmation from Bessie that they were back, or at least that she was. And then this one is Harriet posting. And then also Lauren, who plays her husband. Why can't I think of his name? Not Mr. Dankworth. What is the other one's name? The
Finch?
cheese guy.
Finch?
Finch. Finch. Oh my goodness. Um, so that Finch is back as well. So his casting agency shared that. So sounds like the whole Featherington family is going to show up at least a little bit in season 4, which, yay.
We really thought that Finch wasn't coming back.
Right.
What the boys? We thought the boys were gone. So what a delight. What a delight. Because, oh my gosh, we love them. We love them. And if there's going to be chaos about the Featherington estate, the house, and all that, best believe we need to have the whole gang there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting that that's confirmed too. Wow. There's just been so much information we just flew out of our heads. But yeah,
Yeah.
more stuff.
Yeah. It's been absolutely crazy. Well, and speaking of that, Shonda also just so casually just throwing things out here. So she spoke about season 4, but also about season 5 of Bridgerton. So she talked about the, unique awareness, the sexiness of season 4, that they're done editing, all of those things, really exciting. And then they're also writing season 5. She's like, yeah, we have the whole plan. I know the whole story, know everything that it's about. We're in the writer's room. And then also shared that it might be the sexiest season of Bridgerton yet, which is
God.
a wild thing to say when you're promoting season 4 to be like, okay, yeah, but like also next season. And she said that. She said, I say that about every season. But that she's even thinking about season 5 when they're promoting season 4, I think that's interesting.
It is so interesting. And I think it's just like a testament to the fact that they're writing and like pitching every season, every story with its own unique take on sexiness. Because they were saying at the Valentine's Day event that like season 4 is the sexiest one. And like, but it's just every time it has a different angle and it like unlocks a different like awakening for what sexy really is, like enemies to lovers, fake romance, friends to lovers, and now it's like the class divide. Like there's really a beauty in all kinds of relationships, and I think that that's probably what she's alluding to, that it's the sexiest one every time, just because it's the newest sexy angle every time. So I just think it's her saying that is just her basically saying indirectly, like, we did it again, guys. You're gonna love this one too. So
Yeah, well, and you're so right, and she's so right, and I think that that's part of why Bridgerton is so addicting, is that everybody finds something about it that they just love, and each season is unique, and everybody sees themselves, represented in some capacity, and your version of whatever you think is the sexiest will show up on screen if it hasn't already yet, because they're just doing all the different versions, and it's such a spectacular way to write kind of like an anthology show. And it's going to keep us coming back for 8 seasons, because she reiterated every single time Shonda talks about it, she's like, we want 8 seasons, one for each kid. And at this point, I think they're going to get it. I do.
I think so too. She's on the campaign trail. She has been, and like how could we not see it all through, right? And I think that her often or pretty consistently harping on that possibility and that like desire to have all 8 is probably indicative to the fact that season 4 is going to show a lot of maturity in the characters of Hyacinth and Gregory. Like I really think we're not gonna see them as kids who are like trying to peek out at the party, but they should be in bed. Like that, those days are done. I think it's very much going to be like they're young adults, and we are gonna start seeing the shift in like our perception of them as soon as episode 1. I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's so true. And I mean, we got a little bit of that when they're talking about that there's going to be an interesting dynamic between Hyacinth and Eloise. And when we see them looking very grown up, Gregory's been off at school. He's maybe off at school or he's back. And we don't know exactly the timeline of this, but they're growing up. And it's going to be really, really exciting to see what all of them are up to.
Honestly, speaking of seeing what they're up to, who are we dying? We are dying to see what they're up to. That is just the one and only Sir Philip Crane, Chris Fulton. That is the biggest mystery thus far. Is he going to be in season 4? If he's not, is he season 5? If he's not, what is he doing? And he just, I don't know. He chose violence when he decided to sign somebody's book recently.
Yeah, so they're at LandCon, the thing for Outlander, and somebody gave him a to Sir Philip with Love book to sign, and he signed it specifically with a quote from the book. I can actually like read the quote he signed it with. So he said, my dear Miss Bridgerton, I do hope you will consider my proposal. Yours as always, Philip Crane. What the fuck? What the fuck, Chris?
Excuse me, sir. I don't even know that quote by heart.
Yeah.
What are you doing knowing that quote by heart?
Mm-hmm.
What what does that mean? That means my dude has done a deep dive of his book, To Sir Philip with Love, or he has written that down many a times in like some capacity on set for potentially season 4. Like who knows? But he's memorized it because my dude did not just say, "Just give me a sec. I'm just gonna what quote could I put in here?" You know? No, he had that in his back pocket. Why? You tell me, Cass. Tell me, because I need to
Honestly,
know.
I think it truly is. Chris takes this character so seriously, is what I get from this, where he takes this role, and I think it would be wild to sign up for this in season 1 for a show that might not even get picked up, but to know that you're a love interest that is going to show up again if it gets to a season 5 or season 6 or whatever, to sign up for it when it is nothing. It literally doesn't even have a code name. It's just Bridgerton, right? And then 2 years later, be so aware that you are going to very likely be one of the biggest people on the planet for a couple months in like 3 years is a really wild thing to know. And like I thought that so much when they were at like LandCon, and David Barry, who plays Lord John, is like, oh, we need to get a selfie, and like getting a selfie with Chris. And I'm like, oh yeah, when your co-star's a future Bridgerton lead, like you have to make sure you get the selfies in when they're not super famous yet, but they're gonna be. And I think he's just very aware that this is the role he's gonna fulfill, and I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like he's not crazy. Like he's not crazy. He knows. He knows the plant daddy puns.
Oh, yeah.
He knows everything. He sees what we're saying. He sees the tags, the speculation, that one picture where he was in Bath and everybody's like, it's happening. Like he's not stupid. He knows. So yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I guess if I knew too, I'd probably have a quote. I'd know
Yeah.
something or two, a thing or two. So I think he's gonna be a riot
Yeah.
when it's his season and when it's time to promote. Like put me on the tour bus, guys, for Claudia Jesse and Chris Fulton press. Like sign me up because it is going to be unhinged and I think they match each other's freak. I think it's gonna be so good.
They do. It is 100% the thing that I am the happiest to have been wrong about was after season 1 not seeing him as Sir Philip. I was like, I don't get it. I don't like it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be wrong. Like I love him, and it was season 2 helped, but after seeing him in Outlander as Rob Cameron, I was like, yeah, he hot. Like
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
playing a villain did
Sign
it.
me up for
Yeah.
sure.
I
Oh,
definitely, when you said that, I definitely thought you, maybe a Freudian slip on my part, definitely thought you said tie me up and not sign me up. I was like, I mean that too.
sure. Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I meant. Oh my God, that's so funny. All I'm hearing is like the song Wood in my head now.
Yes! Which, that is my pitch that that song needs to be in season 4.
It
Or
should
season 4,
be.
season,
Well, their
whatever, Philly
season.
season. I don't even
Yeah.
care. Whatever season.
My God, it's so funny. It's so true. It is Plant Daddy. That's what it is.
Mhm,
Redwood tree.
definitely.
It ain't hard to see.
Well, not for Eloise at least. Um,
She knows.
Oh, the one other thing that we didn't touch on that I did want to talk about was when we saw in the promo video seeing the Featherington house. Um, it does not have the colors like it had at the beginning when we saw those set photos. So they have like the season 3 colors, and then there's like the beginning of season 4 colors that is the butter yellow and painter's tape blue that are very, they look like something Portia did.
Hmm.
And then at the end, it's much softer blues, and it's very beautiful and very ethereal. And so I'm wondering and thinking, question mark, if maybe they shot the promo later and that's like how it looks at the end of the season versus like when Portia's still living there at the beginning of the season. I don't know.
Hmm. I wonder. Honestly, I always doubt I always doubt myself because like exposure and like saturation on photos
Sure.
and stuff like that, I'm always like, is it just like heightened way too much? Like they didn't, when there's people in the forefront of like the shot, then it's softer than it is like in a set picture. Like I wonder that, but who knows? Maybe there's gonna be some painting chaos with Portia. It does get adjusted at the end of the season. Fix it, please. I can do that from Penelope. Somebody
Yeah.
fucking fix it.
She's gonna get Varley on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Fix
So,
this.
yeah, who knows? I feel like, yeah, this Featherington uh, redecoration is redecoration?
Yeah.
Redecorating? Redecorating? Whatever. Is just like, it's gonna plague us until we know what's happening. Tell us why. Make it make sense, you know?
Basically everything with this season is going to do that. Oh, and then I have been seeing a bunch of people are really coming down hard on Sophie's mask. And here's what I will say about it. I like it, but people are kind of talking shit about it and I'm like, "Listen, I it's not dainty because it can't be. So like I would always rather have it be chunky and a little aggressive and like covering way more of her face than have the Hillary Duff problem of how the fuck can you not recognize her. So at least it's understandable that he might not recognize her with that mask. So I will take any other criticism as fine and in stride because at least we're gonna have the first Cinderella story ever where it makes sense that he doesn't recognize her.
Exactly. Please. And also give her a break. She had like 2 hours to get ready for this. Okay? I think she did just fine. So people need to chill. It's a beautiful mask. It could have been worse. So let's calm down, everybody. So there you have it. There's all the updates for Bridgerton and all of our favorite things. It's been a heck of a week. And now that we've gone through all of these updates, next week we will be finally diving into Blood of My Blood, the last episodes. So there will be a lot to talk about there. And also, we do have a little bit of an update, a little bit of a personal update, a pod update that we will be sharing next week after we talk about Blood of My Blood. So it's going to be an interesting one, and you're definitely not going to want to miss it. So stay tuned next week.